I hope you enjoy that, but I'm gonna add someone into this mix, and you might know this face. So, Chris,
What's
rest in
up?
peace,
Hmm.
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your memories of Pee Wee Herman besides some things?
Yeah. Well, everyone has a low point in their life, right? So
I hear you, man.
let's not judge him for that. But I gotta admit, like he was a little bit. His show was a little bit after my time. But what comes to mind when I think of Paul Rubens is the death scene in Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Hmm.
when he gets stabbed and he does that over the top slow death. It's just ah ah oh that was gold, just pure
Yeah,
gold. But I get
exactly.
he's a cornerstone for a lot of people in their childhood. Like that his television
Absolutely.
show ran a long time.
Yeah, so I watched the Pee Wee Herman show, of
Hmm.
course. We're the same age group, so we pretty
Hmm.
much same thing here. But I did watch it because there was a sense of weirdom in it that kind of drew my attention.
Hmm.
At the same token, his work with Tim Burton, man, people forget how those two were intertwined. Obviously,
Hmm.
the first Pee Wee Herman movie was Tim Burton's also first movie, so
Hmm.
there is some connection there. And then, of course, when we go into the movie Batman Returns, he was Oswald's Cobblepot's father, and then he
Hmm.
reprised that role in Gotham. So a
Yes.
lot of good things. And as far as one other thing that I remember Paul Rubens, Peter Herman, as we know him, is a movie that's so underrated that I wish people would watch, Mystery Men.
Yes, yes, Ben Stiller, like, yeah.
Oh, such
Mystery
a
Men
good
was
movie.
yeah, that's yeah, before the big comic book movie explosion of
Yeah,
today's day and age. Yeah, Mystery Men was yeah,
so underrated.
that's a deep cut, man. That's like 20 years old now.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
movie's pretty old, but it's still to this day it's still
yeah,
good, man.
yeah.
So definitely let's go ahead and say what's up to the people in the chat right now. We got Las Cruces, 1971. He's first one in, of course. Got the woohoo, and always seems to be number two. Lean Green
Oh,
Machine.
oh, there he
What's up, Larry? All right, and he already got the hashtag Izzy versus NYC. We're not doing that hashtag today. We're gonna do another one today, and I'll show you a little bit. We got Scotty Vaughn. What's up, Common Family? He's gonna go directly after this show here. DJ Links is stopping by to say what's up. Also part of the Monday night lineup, Geek Out with Roscoe. They're gonna have it, so it's gonna be watching TV while he eats some dinner. There's some guy here by the name of Comet Vet. What's up, fam?
Mhm.
Right.
Handsome
So
fellow.
we got the other verse, comic verse in the house. Happy birthday. Also, Samuel. Always good to see Samuel. Jason Carrasco. I know who that is. That's a good friend and family. All right. So we got there. And in comment, yes. See, that scene, it
Yeah.
is one of the best scenes. Right. Kenneth Bird is also in the house. So we got a lot of people watching right now. Um, so today we do have a giveaway. Let me show you guys what today's giveaway. I kind of showed them off in Instagram as well. So we're going to be doing, I'll be giving away this
Oh.
cover, this beautiful Jay Lee kick-ass cover, Big Game
Hmm.
#1. Read the book, I love it, it's fire. World's Finest, issue number 17. We're going to be giving that one away.
Nice.
And Blade #1.
Oh,
This is I forget who's this artist. I can't remember the name of this artist, but this one's going in.
it's John Tyler Christopher, is it not?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head because I can't remember
Hmm.
it, but we're going to be doing that. We also have E-Man. What's up, E-Man? So those are the books that we're going to be giving out away. But here's the catch. The catch is if you are a channel member or if you leave a super chat, a super sticker, not only will you be getting this blade, you're going to get the blank blade. And the blank blade will have some art in it. So there you have it. That's what we're going to be giving away today's show. So channel members, if you leave a super chat or anything like that of on any side, doesn't matter to me how it works. That's how you do it. And we're gonna do a different hashtag today because notice Chris is here. The reason why Chris is here is because, ladies and gentlemen, Josh is missing. So if you have seen Just Josh, please take this opportunity right now and let us know where he's at. Do not chase Just Josh because that might be dangerous. But we last saw Josh at Whatnot. he has a tendency of hijacking my channel and do whatnot shows through it. So please, in the chat, if you are like us, find Josh for us by using the hashtag find Josh. We hope to find Josh as soon as possible. He's been missing, man. He's been missing. Poor Josh. Poor Josh. So
All right.
just Josh. Find Josh, guys. Sarah McLachlan.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my god. Yep. So we already got the hashtags coming through, man. Just Josh is the hashtag for today. We also got Taylor Window. He already started the hashtag just Josh. So there you have it. Collecting with Dirts. We got something going your way really soon. You've probably seen it. The John Jan spawn. If you haven't seen it, go through my shorts and you'll see it. It's there. So it's a lot of stuff going on. Again, as you guys saw it already, we have that going on. Another thing that I got going on to now is, let's see here, get this thing working here. We also have a few other things we want to mention before we even get to the stuff here. This is the last week to set your nominations. Your nominations end August 5th. So go ahead and vote your favorite channels. There's a lot to choose from. There's some shows you could pick from. You could pick artists. You could pick YouTube supporters. So go to the cbcawards.org to put in your nominations in. It's the last day is August 5th, guys. So make sure you do it. Chris, I take it you put yours in, right?
Oh yeah. I kind of made the mistake. I did it like as soon as it opened up, and I kind of like. I feel like I just went.
You just want to go right back, right?
Because that could be good content. Like a lot of, I'll tell you, when a lot of people do their live streaming and they're in Scotty Vaughn, I see you, by the way, my man. When people do their live streaming and they make their selections, I find that so intriguing. Like I'm like, okay, I know that you watch some of my stuff, but I want to see what else you watch. And so I kind of regret not doing that.
Yeah,
maybe
there's some people that
maybe I have another email. I don't know, but yeah, that's
get multiple email accounts in, right?
I don't know if I want to do that, but
No,
I was just like, I wish I thought of that. But yeah.
All right, Beckerman's in the house. What's up, Beckerman? All right, and one more thing I have to mention is I don't know how many people have noticed, but I am dropping some mystery comic bags. So this is really cool what I'm doing. Remember I mentioned before that I have to get rid of some of my collection. So by doing so, I'm going to be doing some mystery grab bags. Each bag is going to have 5 to 10 comics. Now, the way you could put your claim in is through my IG channel, and we have a lot of good books. I'm going to show you some of those books right now. So these are the books that are part of the mystery bags. So you have the very first Dark Horse issue of Terminator.
Easy, blow yourself up, man.
Let's
take a good look at that.
Let's do that here. All right, so we got Terminator #1, and
nice.
I actually do have the series. So this is the first Dark Horse series. This is such a beautiful cover. I love this cover. So Terminator #1, and I have the series. So chances are you probably get the series. Some classic Dune.
Oh, and it's signed.
And it's signed by Sikkenovich himself. That's Sikkenovich's signature. So I do have that. That's part of the grab bag. Also part of the grab bag. Haunt. Remember this guy?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be part of the grab bag as well.
Variants.
And, we got some McFarlane love here.
Spawn
#8, of course, the classic homage.
Right? That's the one that started it all, homaging himself right there.
Here's another classic cover that people keep going for. This is the glow in the dark.
It's hot right now. It's on the top 10 list right now.
It's hot right now. Yeah.
Or last week it was on. Yeah.
It was last week. I don't think it's on this week. Another book that was on the hot top 10.
Oh yes.
Number 95. So that's also part of it. Here's a book that's always hot because it's a debatable first appearance. Depending on who you are and who you ask. But we got Amazing Spider first. The debatable first appearance of Spider-Man
2099. Yeah.
Right. Personally speaking, I just like the foily goodness.
Yeah, it's a big issue. And
it's a big issue. So that's going to be part of the grab bag. And finally, One that I'm going to part ways because I believe everybody deserves to have a warlock. So
Oh,
this is also,
oh, that's
yeah.
a classic cover. Yes.
This by itself is worth more than $30, guys. So if
Yep.
you get this in your pack, you're gonna get worth it. As well as there will be a slab winner as well. So, and there'll be some sketch comics. There'll be a whole bunch of. Look at this. So Scotty Mon, I'm broke, but I may do one later. Well, here's the best part. Just if you go in and claim it, then you're set for it. So
Yeah.
I haven't even put the boxes together, but go to IG, go ahead and make your claim at which box you want. There's 10 to choose from. Again, it's $30, $5 for shipping. If you are a channel member, you are going to get free shipping. So you're not going to pay for shipping if you're a channel member. And yes, that includes overseas. So if someone like DVH wants to get in on the action, since he is a channel member, I will find a way to send it overseas and stuff like that. Never easy, but I'll find a way to send it overseas, and then in memory of Empire Comics, I'm gonna go ahead and do the ticket
Oh yeah.
model. We're gonna do it. We're
Mhm.
gonna do the Izzyverse ticket in memory of Empire Comics on who's gonna walk away with the slab. So
Okay.
the slab is a Black Panther #2, 9.8 with Miles Morales is in the cover. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful Ken Lashley cover. So I don't have it up right now, but that's the book that's also the slab that's going to be included.
I've heard
So
of that guy. I've heard of that
yeah,
guy.
he's just some guy, some dude, some random dude.
Okay.
So those are part of the mystery bag. So make sure you go check that out. That's going to be an IG. So a lot of good stuff happening. Whew. Now I'm out of breath. Trying to keep track on this and that and this and that, all that stuff, right? And yes, Kali Comics Monday has begun. With that, let's get into this week's trending books. Let's do it, guys. Here we are. All right, so we got the trending comics going on. Have you had a chance to take a look at the trending comics?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Let's take a dive.
There's
And
some interesting books in this list this week.
yes, yes.
All right, starting with a book that I'm happy to see back. I remember Bongo Comics from back in the day. That was such a fun, the Simpson brand and things like that. And Futurama #1 is back on the list because the animated series is back. I've seen Futurama in bits and pieces. I never watched it like whole.
Okay.
But I do love watching it. When I did watch it, there was some great characters. The only thing that always it sounds crazy. One thing that threw me off was that their skin tone was regular skin tone and they were in yellow.
Yeah, but it still had that Matt Groening feel with the look of the characters. Yeah, and there's been a lot of big names that have been through, or voice actors and actors that have been through for Futurama. I get the Simpsons get all the glory with all their big names, but Futurama's had a lot of them too.
Oh yeah,
and I always found Futurama is very sharp humor. Like there's a lot of deep cut humor that's in there. A lot of people don't like. I presume a lot of people may overlook, but yeah, Futurama, it's terrific. John DiMaggio did a great job on that show. But yeah,
and he's back. He's back.
Yep. Yeah,
he's
and
definitely
this
back.
is a
So we
book.
got Bender back.
Izzy, this is a book that it's like a roller coaster. It lives and dies with the strength of the series being renewed. But if you look, like $40 and a high raw value, like that's a good
that's great.
That's like
that's
this is
worth
not your average
up,
cartoon comic book, right? Like that has some legs beneath it. And yeah, again, if you wait a couple weeks or whatever, you may pick it up on the cheap and then watch if it gets the show kind of just goes through breaks. It'll be quiet or dormant for a couple of years,
right?
And then it comes back, right? Like, yeah, it's not the first time where you thought it was dead and gone, and it's come back multiple times. And I'm presuming if this happens again next time, the book we'll be looking at a 60 instead of a 40.
Yeah, there goes DVH. All right. So the funny thing about the show is that I think this show has more staying. Call me crazy. I think it has more staying power that even The Simpsons does it now. Because The Simpsons kind of hit their peak, but no one's really talking about them anymore. Now they're continuous and it doesn't end. It's a show that has always, been on TV. where Futurama goes and comes back and goes and comes back. But I think, as you know, Simpsons obviously has more episodes by a long shot.
Yep.
But I think Futurama has more of that.
It's
Oh,
more,
now everybody wants to see it.
yeah, it's definitely more adult humor than what The
Yes,
Simpsons would be.
definitely.
But The Simpsons, though, it's even beyond generational now. It's
Hmm.
just its own thing. And the voice actors and the
Hmm.
producers on the show have figured out how to make things work when it comes to monetary budgets.
Hmm.
So it's not like Fox is going to cancel it. It's basically going to be when all of them come together and say, that's it. But the thing
Yeah,
is, they're all still alive, right? So
yeah,
why end it? And the thing
hmm,
is, it has a quiet fan base that's just
yeah. That's
every
still
week
there.
they're tuning in, either that or they're recording it and they catch it up that way. So that way the viewers stay there, like the viewership
There's a
is still
consistency.
there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and it's the one show that never moves from its time slot on
Hmm.
Fox.
And here's another show, another animated series that is, woo. I think at this point, I think Ryan Reynolds is just trolling us now, because Ryan Reynolds is what brought this back to the forefront. Mice from Mars, and no, they're not in relationship to the rats of New York.
Mhm.
Uh,
No,
Again, another cartoon that's past my time, but I do remember when it came out. I do remember this comic book. Um, it's in the limelight because of Ryan Reynolds saying he's going to co-produce an animated reboot. Why did he decide to make this show? I get, like I said, I think he's just trolling us now.
like I can remember when this dropped. I'm like, oh, this is just a blatant marketing rip of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Hmm.
Like when you have descriptive words like that, how and they goes 4 or 5 words, and this is that. But
Yeah,
again, like,
exactly.
look, it's a $20 book. When I'm sure if you look hard enough, it's in every damn dollar bin going.
Yeah, it probably. I'm sure it was, but it's also a kids book.
Yeah.
And one of the things that people don't understand about these kids comics that were back in the day, and yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
they were treated. They were kids comics, so kids took care of them the way kids normally take care of everything, right? They get beaten up, they get destroyed, and they already had low print runs, so now they're even harder to find. So that's why these books start, picking up in price. We look at He-Man and Masters of Universe. You look at Thundercats. All those books have higher,
Hmm.
demand now because they're lower. There's less in existence, and more important, there's not as many that are in high quality either.
Yeah.
They've
But
been treated like garbage.
let's be honest, but this has been dormant for decades.
Oh
Like, this
yeah.
was a TV show that didn't last more than a season. This was a toy line that didn't do very well, and this is
Hmm.
just an adaptation
Yeah.
of the television series.
So we'll see what it looks like when
Yeah,
it comes out, right?
yeah.
All right. A book here that I am not as familiar with because this was at a time that Spawn was dormant for a little bit. Like Spawn was always there, right? But no one really
Hmm.
talked about Spawn like that. So Spawn 275. So I'm sure Adam there is extremely happy about this one. It's the first time Cyan Fitzgerald refers to herself as Misery, but man, does that character look like Taskmaster.
Todd McFarlane's been known to borrow a look here and there. Went to the school of Rob Liefeld, borrowing the look of characters, and yeah.
That is such a Taskmaster ripoff, to say the least.
But no, and again, like, my attitude when it comes to Spawn is it's every month it comes out, it's the cheapest comic book on the rack.
Mhm.
It's still $2.99. Like, pick it up because things like this happen. Like, just
Yeah.
like an issue will take
Mhm.
off, and because Spawn doesn't necessarily have the largest print run going, although
Mhm.
it does do well on
Yeah.
independent sales. When you compare it to Spider-Man or Batman or some of the bigger franchisable characters, it doesn't compare that way. But again, look, like, you spend $2.99, it's a $15 book if it's in good shape.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
hey, you may have just paid for half a year's worth of Spawn books if you flip that and let it go.
Yep. And this character is getting their own series
Yep.
because Todd stole San Diego. We talked a little bit
Oh
before it.
my,
He
yes.
stole it. That was his show. That was
Yep.
the Todd McFarlane show. That's all I saw coming out of San Diego. I saw other things happening, but nobody was bigger than Todd McFarlane. And you know what? Rightfully so, man. The guy did his
He
work.
he was everywhere on everyone's show too.
Yeah, he was all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about a quiet book, for more reasons than not, to tell you the truth,
Yeah.
Daredevil 11 from 2016, the first appearance of Muse, a serial killer who uses victims as his art. That by itself is scary to hear, right?
Mhm.
Very lifelike style, right? I can see a person like that really existing today, right? But what's even more important is that this is rumored to be the first villain of the Disney Plus series.
Right. Dive in those dollar bins because
Quick
Daredevil
too.
didn't have much love before Zdarsky's epic
Mhm.
run over the last
Yeah.
3 to 4 years, where it's been, most people will say that Zdarsky's Daredevil run has been the best Marvel title, hands
Mhm.
down. Now, some people may argue whatever way, but it has won. It's won awards for it. But this is just before Zdarsky took
Yep.
over. And again, like,
Charles
what is that?
Schultz.
It's a $3, a
Not
$3
anymore.
book.
It's not $3 anymore.
No.
I'll tell you that much.
But I can almost guarantee you, not every LCS is going to be like, oh no, I got to go grab my Daredevil volume 11 or volume 8, issue 11 and pull it
Yeah.
out. But yeah, it's,
Yeah, you
hey,
gotta hunt out it
it's
for it
out
now.
there. Like, if you do your work, if you put the miles out there right now, I'm sure you can get yourself a couple copies. And hey, like, say what you want about Disney Plus. If they still have some of the same creators that were on the Netflix series, it could be very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I'm hopeful for it.
Yeah, me too.
It's still Daredevil because I never looked at Daredevil being a lighthearted,
No.
story. Right? It was
Nope.
never lighthearted to me.
Yep.
And Muse is, you're going off the edge, man. This is
Yep.
kind of like
It's
Jessica
deep.
Jones level. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep, this is
So-
going to be some deep stuff.
Another book that you won't find in a dollar bin, and you probably won't find it anymore, is Marvel Team Up number 14. This is where my thumbnail is based off of,
Mhm.
right? So Marvel Team Up number 14 came out back in 2006. It features a very rare crossover event that kind of like just came out of nowhere, right?
Yep.
It really did. In 2006, I said 16. This Invincible meets Spider-Man it just came out and it happened, right? It just happened and then it just stopped, right? The reason why it is gaining momentum is that there is a rumor that Spider-Man will appear in the Invincible show. And if that happens, this book is gonna blow.
Oh, I think a lot of minds would blow too, because if you look at it, it's an Amazon Prime product. It's Image. Like, there's still, DC has crossed over with Image way more than Marvel ever has.
Marvel doesn't play well with others.
Yeah, there just seemed to be a lot of that bad blood still there. Now that's what makes this so incredibly special. What's up, Tate? It's very, very special. But yeah, $60. If you can find it for $50, I'd say pull the trigger.
I saw this book this weekend. I saw it, and they were trying to sell it for $80, and it was a fair comp. It was a fair book, right? But I was like, I didn't feel like pulling the trigger for it.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I felt like I probably can still find this a little less.
Yeah. Look, but most Invincible fans or Invincible completionists already had this. Oh, here's one right now. And and the thing is, like, if you were out of comics at the turn of the century and for a little bit afterwards, I'm sure at this point you clearly know who Invincible is, but you may not even know that this damn book exists. And yeah, it's not one that, during the COVID bubble, it's not one that was on any top 10 list. It never made an appearance that way. It was all Invincible number 1. And then the short print, Otley, I forget whatever artist was doing.
It was Otley.
Yeah, that was doing those short printed books that went through the roof.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the ones that were gaining all the media exposure. But yeah, this. But for Spider-Man to show up in Invincible, I think that would be awesome. But there's just so many players. Like, Marvel would have to approve it. Disney
So
have to approve it.
We'll
Sony
see what
would
happens.
have to approve it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But that's the rumor. That's the rumor, Mel.
It's exciting.
Another book that came out back in 2013 that I think many consider to be the best current Spider-Man storyline that's out there. Current, as far as this era goes of Spider-Man book, and that's Superior Spider-Man #1. Superior Spider-Man is the first solo title of, spoiler, guys, if you haven't read Superior Spider-Man at this point, really. Otto Octavius, Dr. Octopus, takes over the body of Peter Parker. And I remember when this came out, first of all, people hated it at first. The idea was like, no, we hate this. And then it turned out to be a really good story afterwards. And then the battle between Peter and Otto, because it was believed that Peter was actually dead. And Marvel played it off like, yeah, he's really dead. We all knew that he was coming back, but it was one of those situations where it was like, it was one of those stories that at first glance you hated the idea, but then it grew on you, and then you're like, this is a pretty good story. And now it would appear that we're getting Superior Spider-Man back, and he most likely is going to get an ongoing series. So, what's your thought on that?
I was one of those that hated the idea. I thought Marvel jumped the shark, and then when you dive into it, you realize what Dr. Octopus did was just remove the consciousness of Peter, and but Peter's consciousness was always, trying to battle back, make his way in. But the light comedy that was in it, whereas Dr. Octopus, who was like 3 times Peter's age, when he was as Peter, was like acting like a senior citizen, and like I thought that was good stuff. But the thing is, it's aged incredibly well.
Really
I know they kept Dr. Octopus as Spider-Man basically just under 3 years, I believe. And so Peter was gone for a while, if you think about it, right? In comic book times, that's like decades.
Yeah, that's unheard of. Look at Miss Marvel. We'll talk about her later, but
yes, but yeah, this again, to me, it's aged very well, and I think that it's fair what you're saying. It's actually because after this, Dan Slott did a little bit more, and then we got Nick Spencer's run, and that is just universally despised and hated. So yeah, it's fair to say that this was the last solid Spider-Man story, even though it wasn't Peter.
Even though it wasn't Peter, exactly.
Maybe about 10% of it was Peter.
All right, going back to a character we just spoke about, this is the first cover appearance of Muse. So if you're busy looking for the Daredevil 11 and you see Daredevil 14, pick them up together. Yeah. And not to mention, this is a fire cover, man. This is a cool cover, man. It's just one of those books, man, that you never know. That's why these key, when we talk about key books and you talk about first appearances, they may mean nothing now. Look at this, years later.
We're what, 2016? So yeah, 2016. We're a little bit out, a little bit later. Again, I always pick up Daredevil. It's just at that point, there's a lot of new,
it really is.
Good. It's pretty good. Daredevil has had a lot of first appearances over the last, say, 5 years, especially during the Zdarsky run. Yeah. And I'm, that this is just the first. This is just going to be the first of Daredevil back issues on this list as more and more things kind of get leaked or spoken of about what's going to happen. Because there's going to be 16 episodes. There's no way that...
Well, 18, I think it's 18
okay, there's no way that just this one character is going to be the entire length, because it's getting cut in half. Right? It's all those episodes, but they're getting cut in half. There will be a break.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe I'm wrong. But
who knows? Now, this is a book that's in the list here. I think it was because of a sale. I haven't heard anything much of the Ferrara people.
Right.
There's no James Gunn attached to it or anything like that, even though the Ferrara,
not for Darkseid yet.
No, not yet. We will eventually see Darkseid, but the first appearance of Darkseid, he is he's the equivalent of Thanos. Dare I say it, I think he came first.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes.
And to be completely honest, I think Darkseid is more badass than Thanos. My personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, he's god level, right? And he doesn't waste his time. He doesn't waste his time speaking to just mere mortals. That's beneath him. He is quintessentially DC's super mega villain. Personally, he's number 2 on the villain list for me. I think Amanda Waller is the best villain, but that's just my taste. But again, this is just, to me, a blue chip book. If you can find it in high grade 7.0 or higher at a decent price, pull the trigger. It will always just slowly climb as more and more people get tuned into Darkseid. And with the right type of film and right type of universe or movie universe, he could be a household name like Thanos is already.
Yeah, and I think he should have been long beforehand. I think with Darkseid, you cannot take the Thanos route, where they kind of humanize Thanos to make him more, I guess, his cause more believable.
Yep.
Darkseid is just pure evil, and if he's pure evil, treat him as he's pure evil. You know what I mean? It may come across as one dimensional, but make it work. I trust they can make it work, and they have to keep it that way. You know what I mean? Like, he is the devil incarnate.
Snyder was onto something when it comes to the big film, so we'll see what James Gunn does with him. But he's not being rolled out as fast as what Snyder did with him. You know, in Justice League.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see Darkseid sooner rather than later, because what is it? He's calling it chapters instead of phases. It's called Gods and Monsters.
Yeah.
Who is the ultimate god and monster?
You got it.
All right. So, all right. Our next book is the first appearance of Kamala Khan, which is all new Marvel Now .1. It's her first appearance. Obviously, she died just a few weeks ago now, and she's officially back. Like, it didn't even register when I picked up X-Men Hellfire Club. There she is. We bring her back. So she's officially back, guys. Yeah, that was one of the shortest deaths. And they made a comic book to memorialize her. I don't know what they're thinking.
I hope people didn't spend big money on ratios or whatever, but it's, you know, I can remember, like, Izzy, you were on my show for that new comic book day when it came out. It was just like, the overall question is just why? It's not like she didn't even have her own series at the time, and they killed her off. It was just, why? Like she's about to become a big part of a late summer movie. The last thing you want to do is like put negative media that they just killed the character off. It's just, people may take that the wrong way. Like, well, why would I want to go see it if she's dead in the comics? Like
yeah. Well, what they were doing which was very predictable in the storytelling.
Right. I get the mutant angle of it all.
Yeah, they just want to make it. They want to make a connection. But they kept her also as an Inhuman, so she's an Inhuman and a mutant now.
Right. So it's
sad when you really look at it.
Just
right, dumb excuse. Yep, it was the dumb excuse. But the funny thing about it is that when she originally was created, the intention was to make her a mutant, but because of the whole Disney Fox thing, they was like, oh, we're gonna have to make her Inhuman because Inhumans are not the new mutants, and we saw how that failed.
Yeah.
Too bad for the Humans, because I really do like the Humans.
But aside from it all, I actually really like the character, and I like the actress who plays her on the screen. But I'm saying in the comic books, I like the character. Like Champions is the couple volumes we had, are a limited series that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But just again, I thought it was just over the top. Like
this
kind of came out of nowhere unnecessarily.
Yeah, it was poor marketing on their part. It was poor. It was a way to make sales, I think, and it backfired on them.
And the thing, why do it in the franchise character? Spider-Man doesn't need the jump in sales. Like, they could have done it in something else. They could have done it in an Avengers book. They could have done it in an X-Men book. Sales. They could have done it
the way I would have done it. I would have done it without an announcement.
Yeah, just like, right? Hey, did you guys hear they killed her off? I'm like, in what book? Like, she doesn't even have a book.
Yeah. So there's that. Also, hey, we got a new member. Well, I think he was a member. Brian LCS, welcome to the group, man. All right, I think Brian signed up before. If I'm not mistaken, but welcome, Brian. This is the first time I see Brian in any way. So, Brian LCS, there you go. All right. Our next book here, obviously, look at that high price. Invincible #1. Of course, the series is returning, so therefore there is much hype for the book again. So that's why it's in this list here. Invincible #1. The other Robert Curtis book that everybody's crazy for.
A
But
lot of people say that this is better than The Walking Dead. Like this run
mhm,
is better than the Walking Dead run. I know
yeah,
that Walking Dead is double basically in length of this entire series, but hey man, that's to me during COVID
mhm,
and that was must watch TV. Like it was
yeah,
hanging on every week, and then it
mhm,
came on, like watch it and then rewatch it, especially that finale.
yeah.
And I can remember 9.8s of this book being like four-figure books clearing 2 grand.
Oh
And
no,
it's
right?
just,
The book is.
yeah, it's Invincible #1. Just
Mhm.
that is it's a grail. Let's be honest. It's
It
a
really is.
grail at this
It
point
is a
now.
modern day blue chip book. It
Yep.
is a book that I don't think will ever drop.
Yeah.
And look at DVS.
Yep.
Yeah, it's written better. I think what happened with Walking Dead, it was a concept that was good when it started, and then it started just becoming more of the same thing. Like they
The
just perpet.
television show,
Yeah,
yes.
television show. Now,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw the new shows that are coming up, and I
Hmm.
do have some general interest. I'm
Hmm.
not sure I'm going to go back to that world, but I do have like it piqued my interest. Some of these new shows that are coming up to the
Yeah.
point like, oh, maybe finally they got out of Atlanta. That's what that I think that was one of my common complaints. Is like, just leave Atlanta already, man. Why are you so stuck here? So, but now they actually are leaving Atlanta,
Yeah, well, now
and
they're
they're
leaving
going.
the continent.
Woohoo! Yeah, you got especially
Yeah.
on Daryl, right? Daryl.
Yep.
So there's that book. All right, we spoke about this
Oh.
book here. Well, not this book, but we did speak about Superior Spider-Man, and it started here. This is where we had the death of Peter Parker in the Doctor Octopus book,
Hmm.
in body, and then Doc Ock takes his body. So this book it's relatively low at $12. You could pick it up. It's a thick book, very thick book.
Yeah, it's an oversized
Yeah,
and gorgeous cover, and I think you're able to find a 9.8 just under $100 in
yeah.
and around. And there's God knows how many variant copies. I remember
Mhm.
like every artist and their son was even
And there's
yeah, and their son had a variant cover. But yeah,
exactly.
this was I can remember those last few pages with Peter
Yeah.
just getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
it was heartbreaking. And if you were a hardcore Spider-Man fan, it was just like I have had
You
enough.
just see you just
That's
seen it
it.
happen.
You guys have jumped the shark. And then it turns out Superior Spider-Man was pretty damn good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a very good way. And I liked how Dr. Octopus was trying to be a villain and then he couldn't help
Yeah.
himself
Yep.
in becoming heroic. So he ended up
Yep.
becoming more of an anti-hero.
Yep.
Which was I like that approach as opposed
Hmm.
to other people. I was like, oh, we're gonna turn this villain into an anti-hero. Like I didn't see that
Yep.
with Venom,
Yep. It
even
was
though
cool
now
to
Venom.
witness that the spirit of Peter Parker would
Exactly.
overtake him that way. But
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah,
Adventurous
that's
Joe, what's going on, man? Welcome
hey
to the
Joe.
show. All right, our next book. Ugh. It's on the list because it does feature the first appearance of Gaia. Did you see Secret Invasion?
Yes.
Did you like the ending?
I saw Secret Invasion. I thought
Oh,
I
gosh.
just it was a little over the top that every single character in the
Mhm.
MCU had, had their DNA sample readily available. It's just like we're like
It does
really,
make sense that they made it happen, though, because
but
it was after the battle. But
yeah,
then, how did you get the DNA of people like Thanos and some of the villains?
right. And it's when Thor took his head, like it was just them. I don't think Captain America was just
You
like,
see a
we
scroll
gotta
like
bottle some of this
you
stuff, like,
just see a scroll coming out. So
and it
so
just
slight spoilers
I
for
I had a
Secret
lot of
Invasion.
hope for this. As someone that read a lot of the Super Scroll in the Fantastic Fours, I had a lot of hope for
Yeah.
this. And I liked what they did. They had 3 or 4 characters
Mhm.
that was pertaining to the Super Scroll. And then it just went over the top. And then we had the Mother of Dragons being a Super Scroll and all that. And I was
Yeah, I think
just,
what
yeah.
what I saw with the show, there was some glimmers of hope, but then it kind of like went off the rail. Um, they wrote Rhodey terribly, like the scroll version of Rhodey.
Yeah.
It was very clear that it. First of all, no, a colonel outranking a general. That was the first thing that said, "Do you know what you're doing? Like making Rhodey." I get it. Rhodey's a colonel. He's not a general. And there's the general, and he's calling the general an idiot, right? Well, Rhodey, as we said, right? So
Right.
that first right there, being the comic
And
vet, I'm
they
not.
went so far back, like back to Civil War. So you're
Yeah.
telling me War Machine during the Thanos saga of Endgame was a scroll? Like
I don't know if that was. I don't know if they went that far back. I don't know if
well,
they
that's
confirmed
what
that.
people were lining up images of him when he was going into the MRI machine.
Yeah.
That's what he wore, and that was at the end of Civil War.
Yeah.
And then when they finally got to him in Secret Invasion, he still had the hospital gown on. So a lot of people are trying to make that connection. If it does, I was just, oh my god, like
people are gonna be mad. That's true. I
and
don't
the
know
thing that because he didn't get blipped, right? Meet the Scrolls
exactly.
#1. It's on the list. It won't be on the list again.
It won't be there for long. I think
It
it's gonna
won't be
die out.
no.
Now
You
I
may
will
see some
say
Kree
this:
stuff.
what they did what they did with Gaia, the female Skrull.
Mhm.
Now giving her all those powers. This is where this is my speculation. I think they're setting her up to either become the next Sentry or Beyonder. That's where I see this going. Because
I don't know about Beyonder though.
Well, because she has the power sets now. She's supposed theoretically, based on what we saw, she is now the most powerful super whatever. Right? She has Captain Marvel's powers now.
Right.
So and not to mention everyone else's powers. So the only thing I could think about is that she goes nuts because she can't handle it. Right? It's too much for one person.
You want to know what I think, Izzy? I think there's such a negative backlash about this. I could see them say, "Oh, the powers wore off, and now she's just a Skrull that's
dumb, right?
a kind of an indie Skrull that
like, just ignore it.
Yeah, just kind of like just wash it away." Yeah.
It never happened.
Yeah.
A book that I'm happy to see on this list. This is the holy grail of stories, the Citizen Kane of stories, as Watchmen #1, the first appearance of pretty much all those characters.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say I have the complete set, series 1 through 12. I got them. I picked them up. You talk about Walmart pickups. It was something very similar to Walmart pickups from back in the day. So I picked them up from like dollar bags and stuff way back then. And that's how I was able to collect the whole series. So that was pretty cool here. But the reason for why this is here is because there is word that they're going to do the animated series.
Honestly,
animated
movie.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, I think they don't need to touch it anymore. We have a motion comic. Yeah, if you ever seen a motion comic, it's fantastic.
Let's be honest. I'm sure Alan Moore may have tickled the brain or said, "Hey, like, I need some more residuals."
Well, that's the catch. Alan Moore.
Guys
it's the exact opposite with Alan Moore.
Yeah.
So with Alan Moore, the situation is if we stop printing, he gets the rights after a certain time. So they have to figure out a way to continue the machine. So he won't get the rights back.
There's a few things that was omitted from Zack Snyder's film, right? The barge, the whole ship angle of it all, that was removed, and they changed up the ending just that little bit.
Yeah.
So as long as they don't copy what they did with The Killing Joke, I think that this could be welcomed and very well received, and hopefully gets a rated R on it. To do it justice,
you got to give the R.
Yeah, this is not for children in any way, shape, or form.
If you add Rorschach, comedian, those characters are not PG-13 characters.
The gratuitous violence, especially when surrounding Rorschach. Yeah,
and you know what? I know from what I've heard, people like Dirt who are new to comics and in comparison to the rest of us, is that this story doesn't have that same connection that it did for those of us who read it years ago. And I think it's because everything is like it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think there's
Mm-hmm.
everything's trying to emulate what this started, right? So, this was the whole deconstruction of superheroes in a real world. And Taylor Winder's saying that this is the book that Dirts hates.
I tried, Taylor. I tried.
And I think I understand where Dirts is coming from, right? But it's also for its time, it was groundbreaking. It was something we never saw prior. Now we were seeing things like Miracle Man and stuff like that, right? Where it was trying to bring that real tone in it. But Watchmen did it in a way that was like, what just happened, right? And you have to read it in a certain way to fully comprehend what's going on. And yeah, this may take multiple reads before you start realizing this is genius writing.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I think that's what ended up happening is that we have so much of this now that this is losing its value in that way. You know what I mean? That's my theory.
The whole the play on classic Americana when the superheroes were really shiny and bright and the atomic age type of things. And I thought I really liked how Alan Moore just took it and then took that shiny 50s nostalgia look and it flipped it into like the dirty 70s of New York City kind of thing, and a terrible president that everyone's stuck with. And yeah, it's just
So everybody's
been
loving on Dirt. Look at
fantastic.
it.
It's fantastic.
You see, that's everybody like Dirt. No, and I
Well,
get,
it's
and I
it's why
get
we
that.
have chocolate and vanilla. It's why we have chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah,
That
and I'm a vanilla guy.
and the thing is, I myself, as a teenager, when I first read my first collected edition of The Watchmen, I didn't particularly like it. I thought visually, I thought it was really good, but the second time I read it, you start to pick up on things, and that each panel is well choreographed and
Yeah.
and like it's just everything is supposed to be there. If like is it Dave Gibbons that did it? I forget who
Yeah,
the
Dave
artist is.
Gibbons.
Yeah, Dave Gibbons was the artist and had to follow the script to a T
To a
because
T. Yeah,
yeah,
everything mattered.
Alan Moore, this is his magnus opus. This is it. And the thing is, the older I got, the more I could appreciate it. And then recently, in the last year, I reread it, and it's top 5. The older you get, the more you can appreciate it. I find.
I think yeah, it has that tone, right? It has that thing that you have to. I think what probably makes sense is just read it, let it digest, go back, let it digest, continue, because this is a book that you can find something every time you read it.
Yes. Yes.
I've read this book multiple times, and every time I read it, I find something new and different that I didn't see before.
Right.
I think the TV series was doing a little bit of that too, which I actually appreciated from the TV series, because the TV series, what a lot of people don't understand about the TV series was that it really was a reboot of the story. It was taking this story and just putting it in a different light. It was the same beat. It was beat for beat, pretty much the same thing, but in a different setting, in a sequel like environment. And you got to go back to Watchmen if you don't know.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to writing Alan Moore, it's a hit or miss for some people. I think with Alan Moore, but I see him in the same way that people look at Jack Kirby as an artist, right? Jack Kirby is considered the king for a reason, but you go to someone who's new to the business, they don't understand that, right? Like there was an interview I saw, I think with Kevin Smith, in fact, and Kevin Smith was the one that said he didn't get what's the deal with Jack Kirby. Like, why is Jack Kirby such a big deal? And then the artist looked at him and said, "We'll show you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think it's the same thing. Jack Kirby to the average person just looks like another artist, and in fact doesn't look as great as Atomic Farley or all these other guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you go back to what Jack Kirby was doing, then you see the genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, this is a deep book, and if you don't appreciate Alan Moore, like to me, you should almost have a warm-up story to Alan Moore's style. Like pick up the Killing Joke, or even not necessarily the Killing Joke. You can pick up
Swamp Thing.
the Swamp Thing saga that he did is a master class of storytelling over a span of multiple issues. You know, that he was, you know, an environmentalist before the whole idea of environmentalism was a thing. Read Swamp Thing and you'll get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you know, it's some of those stories that if you read Alan Moore, you realize that it's incredibly in depth. And when he had a fantastic artist, it really spoke more volumes. And that's why I said, like I like to think the Watchmen, not to put people's perspective down or make it insulting, but because the Watchmen is such a deep cut with so many different layers to that story, that you should almost pick up something other also by Alan Moore first to get it used to his
V for
style.
Vendetta.
He's another great story.
Ooh,
you know,
classic.
He's not necessarily like Frank Miller, like where you have this, you know, this very dark overtone, and he paints that picture very well. Alan Moore is a different style where he'll present one thing, but underneath that layer, there's two more layers, and it's very sinister. So you have to be careful. But yeah, the British
invasion was high that time.
Yeah, this is primetime storytelling.
This is the top of the top, man. When it comes to comic books at its fine, comic books as literature, this is the book.
Yeah, it's up there.
It really is. Right? All right, moving on. Just
Here
because Nate wanted, babe, Barbie is in the house. Now, this book here is, of course, the Barbie movie is trending to be a $1 billion hit. It just ranked $700 million in the box office. I saw it yesterday. I finally saw it. And my thoughts are, okay.
Yeah.
Like, the same way we just talked about Watchmen, it's the same way I'm going to talk about Barbie. You kind of got to get it.
Okay.
That's how I think it is. It's a pro-feminist movie because it's meant to be that way.
Yep.
And the Barbie world is the real world for women. It's the way it looks, the way that they're portraying it. Right?
I've heard that.
So it's the exact opposite. And even towards the end of the movie, without giving too much away for those of you who want to see Barbie, towards the end of the movie, the men are actually being treated the way the women are being treated in the real society. That someday you'll be here. Like there was a scene that they say, well, can we make it to the, can we be part of the code? Like maybe we could give you a lower place, but that's okay. So and that's where it kind of lost me for a little bit. Kind of like it didn't. I think they left it open for a sequel, I guess.
Yeah.
Which at this point I'm pretty sure I'll get it. I don't know if this movie is gonna blend well to a sequel, the way it was created. So I don't know.
Unless they focus on a different Barbie. But let's just talk about the comic just for a second here.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at icons in pulp culture, Disney's up there. Like Spider-Man is up there, Batman's up there, Barbie is up there, with Mickey Mouse. Like just some of those iconic characters.
Really is.
If you want to look at the amount of Barbie collectors that are out there, and serious Barbie collectors who spend serious money on those dolls and collectibles, that is an undervalued book if you want to look at it from a Barbie perspective. If you're into Barbie, like $15 for Barbie #1, like, all right, let's go.
Not the first book. This is not the first book. This is the Barbie.
It's not her first appearance, but it's the first Marvel, right?
It's the first Marvel. It is a John Romita Sr. book, cover and interiors, which shocked me. Like cover, I could see. But interiors, I was like, what? He went in and drew in this book?
Yeah.
Like, that stood out for me.
Yep. But hey, just like I said, there are icons in pop culture. Mickey Mouse, some that span both boys and girls, but then when it comes to girls, she's #1 with a bullet.
Yeah, with a bullet. Another iconic book that it's actually not that old, came out back in January, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Run, The Lost Years. This features the first appearance of the new Turtles, the second generation, the Young Turtles. This book is going to start getting tractions because now there's an announcement of a video game that they will be a part of. So if you could find this book at a very inexpensive price, I suggest you pick it up
Yep.
because this is the next generation of the Turtles, which I'm almost certain we're gonna see live action or in a cartoon. They're gonna pop up somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that both the original creators are behind it all,
Mm-hmm.
you know that they're going to push it because they don't necessarily have complete
Creative
control
control.
of the original IP. So
Nick.
yep. So here's the next offering, and look what the first one did. Yeah, I'm like, this is still happening. Like
Yeah.
one of the issues comes out this new comic book day. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll get into that, but yeah, I'm sure this is still in some still on some shelves, or maybe even freshly in the
Yeah,
in
you probably pick
bins.
it up for cover. You could
Yeah,
probably
you can
grab it
probably
for
still
cover.
pick it up for cover.
You can probably pick it up for cover, so it's worth picking up. Definitely take an opportunity to pick it up because at this price value, it is worth picking up
Yeah.
just in case. That's what I say. Do it just in case. It really falls under that matter because those young turtles are the next generation of the turtles, and just like everything else, we might be seeing another Miles happening here. That's how I look at it. Like Miles Morales, when he first came out, no one cared about that character. Let's be honest. Now look at it.
Now he's a household name.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
be on the lookout for the last Ronin Lost. Here's issue number 1, first appearance of the Young Turtles. A book that, why not? Spawn number 1.
It's here every other month.
Right? It's here. Spawn number 1. This all that talk about Dirts with Watchmen now. Here you go, Dirts. You got your Spawn number 1 there.
Yeah, I still find it interesting that this commands like what, $30? Like, this
$30.
is such an oversaturated book. And like even Todd McFarlane himself jokes, like, if you were to send something in, don't send in Spawn 1. It's so many there might be more signed Spawn 1s than there are unsigned. Well, I doubt that. People, not necessarily everyone can afford it. But
Hard to
again,
get
like
Farley
this
signature.
that first appearance of Spawn or Malibu, whatever we want to call his real first appearance. Like this is a book like X-Men #1 and Spider-Man #1. It's in everyone's collection at this point. And so it's just nice to see a book that you have at least one copy of is doing well.
Yep, I have
but
two.
It's tough to get in a high grade though with all those dark colors.
Yeah, and I love Ken Stacy's colors. So Ken Stacy did a phenomenal job with the colors on this book. So then you look up Ken Stacy. Another book that's on the list because she has a new #1 book is Red Sonja #1. But we also have a movie, and I think there was a trailer that dropped. Even though I haven't seen the trailer, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen the trailer, but I heard about it, and obviously her, Red Sonja just dropped last week, I think, and
we'll get you one, C Bizzle. We'll get you one.
Yeah, and she's
hot.
Yeah,
for
she's
multiple
hot,
reasons.
and I'm surprised that the book is, in my opinion, a little undervalued.
It's her first solo, but it's not her
first. Not a first appearance. Her first appearance, as we all know, was in Conan.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is if you would have said, "Hey, Chris, what do you think Red Sonja #1 her first series would be?" I would have guessed $60. And that's yep. And we'll see where it goes.
Now we're going to some more newer books. Incredible Hulk #2. This book came out last week. Everybody's in love with this cover, but the book in itself, a lot of people are enjoying the break.
Yeah.
They're going back to this monster inside,
Yeah, and let's be honest. It doesn't take much to be considered a good book right now by Hulk fans, considering what they went through for about a year. And Spider-Man fans continue to go through for like year 6 at this point now. And Hulk, it's a nice turnaround.
Hulk always seems to come back and forth, right? Like he has his highs and his lows. Like Immortal Hulk is amazing.
Yes.
If you go back the Jones run, remember the Jones run from back in the day? That was fantastic.
Yep.
I love that story. That was like going back with the Mr. Blue, Mr. Green.
Yep.
That was great. This one, look at that. It's a 1 in 25 variant. There is a Virgin variant that might be going for a little bit more. So there's that book there. Another book that we were talking about the Turtles. Kevin Eastman does his take on Darth Vader. That's on this list right now. Another book that is at the low cost, going for $30, and it's black, white, and red. So many of these black, white, and red books coming out all over the place.
All those covers have been magnificent, though. I get that Kevin Eastman doing a Marvel title, and that he, Ninja Turtle fans will support him in most of his endeavors. But yeah, let's just be honest. All those covers for this series have been
they've been gorgeous.
Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Yeah.
Yep. And then of course it's last on this list, the Ash Can. Now, is it actually an Ash Can or is it a full comic? I know it has no word bubbles.
Oh, okay.
So it's wordless. So it's just imagery. But this was probably the biggest book of the con. At least one of them.
Right. And Transformers, the IP is hot right now, right? Like the new movie came out and did very well in a summer where everything seems to be just bombing. It did very well. It was well received, especially by Transformers fans. Void Rivals has taken off very, very well. It seems to be received well. And then with the news about Transformers and G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe, spoilers, making a cameo in the new Transformers movie, it's just both those Hasbro IPs are very hot, and Transformers seems to be leading the way.
Yeah, it really
is. It's nice to see Transformers getting some proper love, and I hope that Skybound doesn't drop the ball. But
I agree. I hope so too.
I hope they don't drop the ball. Yeah.
Right. So before we go on to what's coming out, just quick reminder: if you haven't seen them yet, Josh is missing. Make sure you put the hashtag Find Josh. That's what today's giveaway is gonna be. That's our hashtag. Please, you can find Josh, but do not chase him. Last time we saw him on Whatnot, he seems to be hijacking my streams. But go ahead and find Josh, and don't forget to put your nominations up. August 5th is the last day you could put your nominations for the CBC Awards. So make sure you do that today. As well, if you go to IG, I am doing 10 mystery comic bags. You saw the books earlier. They're going to be in IG. There are some great books. Guarantee you're going to get your money's worth from this. I just need to make sure I clean up my collection because I'm running out of space, man. I literally have no more space. The comics are, if I go like this, watch this, comics. Yeah. Right? So I'm running out of space.
It's got a lot in common, you and I is.
Yeah, man. We can't do it. So go ahead and find Josh, and let's go ahead and let's move quickly to the new books of the week, starting right now. All right. So believe it or not, we're at the end of the month because today is July 31st. And a lot of companies have low numbers. Marvel, for example, was usually the king of the 20s. They have 14 titles. And let's go quickly on them because there are some books that to talk about, but I think a lot of it's just pretty much cash cows going on here. Death of Venomverse #1 comes out this week. What If Dark Venom #1 comes out this week. A book that I'm curious about, Strange Academy, Miles Morales. I haven't heard much about this book, but is he going to be in the Academy?
They're teasing it, but what's cool, what you have here, all 4 of these titles, 3 of these 4 have first appearances in them.
Yeah.
Death of Venomverse has the Venomverse take on a Sinister Six team. Strange Academy has a new pupil. And Magneto also has a new mutant first appearance in there as well. Yeah. But as a big Ben Grimm fan, I'm interested in what they do with What If Dark when it comes to the Venom story where he gets the costume instead of Eddie Brock. But yeah, that's 4 interesting titles. But it seems every time I co-host your show, Marvel is very light that week.
Yeah, it's a light week, man. It really is. Yep. Astonishing Iceman also comes out this week. That's the other #1 that's here in this list. You have Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. Let's face it, it's not Annual #1. It's Annual number whatever now.
Yeah.
With featuring Hallows Eve.
Yes.
X-Men 25. This I thought was just stupid. Not because of what it is, but how they're promoting it. They're promoting it as Kitty Pryde's new persona, Shadow Cat. With a K.
Oh, really? So they somewhere Arthur Adams is just shaking his head like, come on.
Like, I grew up with Shadow Cat. Yep. So to me, I got into comics when she was Shadow Cat. She was already established as Shadow Cat. She had the blue mask, which I never understood why she really needed it. She had it was 80s garb. Let's call it what it.
the blue silky outfit with the
Yeah, with the
long.
turtleneck and stuff like
Yeah.
that. With the
Mm-hmm.
so,
Yep.
but now she's coming back and she's kind of like an assassin. Which I never really dig that about her. Like, I don't think Shadowcat should be an assassin. I'm sorry, it doesn't fit
It's
her
not her
character.
personality.
Yeah, so X-Men 25. So that's, I guess you could call that a minor key. Moon Knight 26 also comes out this week. We have Fantastic Four number 10, Scarlet Witch 7, Doctor Strange number 6.
First appearance, by the way, also in Scarlet Witch 7. So for those who are collectors of just first appearances, 7 does have a new character introduced.
You've been asking the right side of the flag.
Yeah. It ain't over yet.
It ain't over yet. Oh, we got Legion. We got Mark in the house. Hey, Mark. All right, so we got those. Of course, Warlock Rebirth issue number 5. I got to get that. A book that I think a lot of people are going to pick up, and that is Star Wars Dark Droids with an S, not single. Number 1. So that'll probably be a big pickup. That cover by itself looks worth it just to purchase, right?
Yeah, it's very theatrical. Yeah, and first appearances in that one. But it seems like every Star Wars book has a first appearance. Yeah, but so Dark Droids 1 has multiple first appearances, as does Yoda.
Yeah, look, just like Sea Bezel. Kitty's already a pirate too. What the? Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they do. And then you have Star Wars Yoda issue number 10. Yeah, nice cover there.
Yeah, gorgeous cover.
All right, those were your Marvel books. DC has 12 books, and let me guess, half of them are night terrors. But first, before we get to any of the night terror books, we have Sandman Universe Special Desola issue number 1. So this is coming off of Nightmare Country, which I actually did enjoy. I'm a huge Sandman guy, so I love my Sandman books. So that's here. So this is a character coming out of that story. Justice Society of America issue number 5.
Yeah, iconic cover there.
Yeah, beautiful cover too.
Yep, iconic cover.
Yes, Adventures of Superman, John Kent issue number 6. Peacemaker Tries Hard issue number 4. We know people love that book.
Yeah, it's doing very well.
It's doing really well. It's such a good book, right? So we have that book. Then City Boy issue number 3, featuring Superman. And Superman also makes an appearance in Steelworks issue number 3 as well. And now to our Night Terrors. We got Night Terrors Batman number 2, Night Terrors Joker issue number 2. And I love that cover. He's just sitting there in the couch. That just makes me laugh. Night Terrors Poison Ivy issue number 2, Night Terrors Ravager issue number 2, Night Terrors Black Adam, and of course, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Issue 123. Just the fact that this book has gone to 123 is amazing.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth. Like, what? Did you put a typo there? 123.
No typo. Like, 123.
Wow, I had no idea.
That's because they don't reboot Scooby-Doo because there's no need to reboot it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
All right.
Still on volume 1.
Exactly. All right. Image has 9 titles on the list, and that's including Skybound. And we have a new title called The Sacrificers number 1, as well as Quest number 1. And there you go. Spawny's coming out with a new book this week. Issue 344. Yep, there you go. All that green and red. Very Christmassy to me. Love Everlasting number 10. Black Cloak number 6. Junk Rabbit number 5. I don't know what it is about Junk Rabbit. I just like the way it looks. You know what I mean? The character looks cool to me.
You should have a crossover, Jack Rabbit and It's Jeff.
Yeah. I wrote Jack Rabbit. Now I'm looking at it. It's really Junk Rabbit.
It's Junk Rabbit. Yeah.
It's Junk Rabbit. All right. Packalus number 7. Hey Kids Comics. Shock of the New number 5. That's from Howard Jackie. And from Skybound, Walking Dead Deluxe issue 68. So those are your Image titles. As far as the indies goes, the indies are really quiet this week too. There's not a lot of indie stuff going on. You got 5 from IDW, you got 5 from Titan, you got 4 from Boom, Dark Horse has 4, Dynamite has 2, and Mad Cave has 1. So those, let's go over them quickly here. Last Ronin, we were just talking about Last Ronin. We're at issue 5 of the Lost Years.
Yep.
So there you go. You can still pick up the story. And like I said, issue 1, if you want to read the story and you want to pick it up, you got to go get it before it gets super hot, which is probably already there. Dark Spaces Good Deeds number 3, My Little Pony issue 15. And then you have your Star Trek books, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, The Dog War issue number 5, and Star Trek Defiant issue number 6. Over at Titan, they got the rights to Conan the Barbarian. And that is a beautiful Dan Pinogia cover. I think that's gorgeous.
There's some nice covers actually, but that one's fire.
That was a really good one. So I'm sure Gary's happy about this. You know what I'm saying? And Robotech Rick Hunter number 1 also comes out this week for Titan. Titan also has Heat Seekers, Gun Honey a Gun Honey series issue 2. For those of you who like those kinds of books, I can tell you that much. I picked up Gun Honey. I was like, oh, okay.
It wasn't a bad read. It's just
those my kids can't read this. Yeah. But then again, the cover could have given that away, right? Doctor Who Doomsday issue number 2. When I first saw this cover, I didn't even know it was Doctor Who until after I read it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And a book that was delayed last week, Dead by Daylight issue number 2, is scheduled to come out this week. Over at Boom, you got Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer. Rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman. So we got Paul Reynolds. Good timing for that. Well, I wouldn't say good time, but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Coincidental. It's probably a better word there. And Grimm issue 12, that is a fire cover. I love that cover as well. And Once Upon a Time at the End of the World issue number 8. People have been really enjoying that title by Mark Waid. And a book that I still don't understand what I'm getting to with Fence, Redemption number 3. That's scheduled for this week. So that's coming out from Boom Studios. Over at Dark Horse, you have Hellboy and the BPRD 1957 From Below, issue number 1. A book that I think people might be clamoring for is Star Wars Hyperspace Stories. There's some hidden stuff, but this has a Boba Fett story. So, these are geared towards family friendly, all ages. So, but at the same time, these Star Wars books, you never know which is going to be the hottest of the week, right? It really is a crapshoot. The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, issue number 2, and Order and Outrage number 4. Dynamite has Fire and Ice number 1 and Gargoyles number 8. Over at Mad Cave, you got Project Reese number 1, and Fantagraphics Books has The Buildings Are Barking, Diane Noman in memorial. So obviously she passed away. I don't know much about that, but the Gargoyles book, they just mentioned Kenneth Broad's gonna do a live action Gargoyle. That sounds pretty big. Yeah. So pick up your Gargoyle books while you can. I know the first issue's hot right now, the first Marvel book. Right. And then you have Upshot, you have Sins of the Salton Sea number 3, Ancient Enemies from Frank Miller Presents. Over at Ape Entertainment, Teddy Scare Zero, and AC Comics, which is a fantastic title, Super Bay starting Fem Force, issue number 15. But AC Comics has been around for a long time. I remember Fem Force. So those are your books for the week. Again, it's a light week of comics. So
when you get those fifth new comic book days in a month, this is kind of what happens. Or usually they dump a lot of annuals in that weekend. So I think Marvel
got one annual.
Marvel's got the Spider-Man one. I think DC basically that Sandman title. Let's be honest, it's an annual as well. But I thought it would have been a lot more heavy for annuals. But hey, there's a lot of first appearances though for those that like this back.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We've definitely gone over an hour, and I'm hungry and I gotta cook dinner. So let's get ready, guys. You guys are ready for a giveaway? Let's do it. Okay,
I like that. That's very monolithic. Like
yeah, there you go. That big. Let's go ahead and start showing off what we're gonna be giving away today. So today's giveaway, you have the kick-ass cover of Big Game number 1. Love this story. I have multiple copies, so I'm okay. So Big Game number 1. Also, we got World's Finest number 18. We're gonna be giving away that book. Mark Waid doing phenomenal job with Batman Super. He understands Silver Age comics. And then finally, you have the new Blade number 1. you're good. If you are a channel member and you win, you're not only going to get this blade, you are also going to get the blank blade with a sketch. It will have a sketch on it by yours truly. I will be doing a sketch on it. So if you are a channel member, or if you leave a super chat or super sticker or whatever you want to do, that's how you will get into it. So those are going to be your giveaways for this week. Keep in mind, our hashtag for today is going to be Find Josh. Hashtag Find Josh, because we have we don't poor Josh, he's missing. I don't know what's going on, man. He's we find him on Whatnot for some reason. He always seems to show up on Whatnot. He hijacks the stream. So make sure, do me a favor, find Josh, and his hashtag Find Josh, guys. Yeah, Mark wants that sketch. He wants to find Josh. So make sure you put your hashtag Find Josh. I'll talk to you a little later about finding Josh. But so let's go ahead and run that. We got 20 people waiting. Look at that. 20 people are waiting for it. All right. Find Josh. He's like, why is people searching for me? Let's do it. Let's figure out who won. Okay. So our winner for today is going to be...
Boom.
Where'd you get
that? Yeah.
He's won plenty of times on my channel, so congratulations. Oh. I think it's Cody Fonseca. Where you get that, congratulations. You have won you won the 3 comic books there. Chris, it's always a pleasure, man. It is always fun, man. Thank you for sitting in. We were gonna try to get someone else, but unfortunately that person wasn't able to make it. So I was like, oh,
your third choice?
Believe it or not. Well, Josh.
Yeah, Josh is first, and then the guy who skipped
out
on
you. And then the guy, I'll tell you offline who it was, and you'll be like, okay. I understand now. Yeah. All right. So unfortunately, the original person couldn't make it. So I went ahead. I made the call. Check for a few people. And Chris, you're always willing to be a part of it. So I thank you for that, guys. If you know already, if you don't know, this is the last week. You got to put your nominations in for the CBC Awards. Make sure you go to cbcawards.org. If you have multiple emails, you can vote multiple times. That's how that works, right? You don't have to vote for everything, but it'd be nice if you could put as many as you possibly can. Make your nominations in. The last day is August 5th. And lastly, I want to let everybody know I do have 10 mystery comic bags. They're going for $30. You're going to have 5 to 10 comic books in each, and they will all have at least one key in the book. We went over the books. I'll show them again in a second, but make sure you do it. You go to IG, you could drop it, you make your claims, and that's how that works. Just to show you guys some of those books again, I have here Terminator #1. Let's go ahead and zoom that in again one more time here. We got the Terminator #1. This is from Dark Horse Comics. That's going to be in it. You have Dune. I actually got the set, so you probably most likely get the whole set of the books there. You got Spawn issue #8 is going to be part of that. Ghost Rider 15, the popular glow in the dark, is going to be in that pack. Is going to be in one of those packs. Haunt is going to be in that pack. Also, I have issue 2, so issue 2 will most likely be in that pack as well. There, and then we have just one of the hot books right now, the first appearance of not the first appearance of the yellow costume, the origin of the yellow costume, Marvel Comics presents. And then you got the big books. You got Amazing Spider-Man 375. Yes, 65. This is 365. My apology. 350. It's a whole year. So you got that one, the nice. But first, debatable first appearance of Spider-Man 2099, and I guess you could say the biggest book is going to be Marvel Premiere #1, The Power of Warlock. These books will be there. There will also be a winner for a slab. We'll do a ticket just in memory of Empire Comics. So go to IG for that, and it'll be awesome. I will make sure you do that here. Let's see, what's this? We got one of those guys. They popped in. Don't you just love when they pop in? I haven't had those in a while.
Me too.
It's been a while, so welcome back. I guess. So, Chris,
Mhm.
tell me what you're going to be doing lately.
I just dropped a video where I had an opening of an Ollie's pack for the first time ever. My channel's kind of known for opening that other big department stores kind of packs. So
Yeah.
I made a trade with Marvel Matt from Comics by the Bay, hooked him up with some Walmart packs, and he hooked me up with some Ollie's packs.
cool.
And I gotta admit, I was blown away. There was a key that I didn't even know existed.
Really?
Turned out to be a $15 book. So check that out. This Wednesday will be Show Us What You Got, the live new comic book day hangout, where it will be my channel member giveaway, and I'll be spotlighting all the Comic Army box and what's going to be in it, and it'll be given away via Duck Race this Wednesday. And later on in August, I'll be rolling over my 3rd anniversary for YouTube, and I'll be having a big subscriber giveaway at that point. So keep an eye out for that.
Cool. Awesome. A lot of good stuff. Guys, what's coming up next? If it already, I'm pretty sure it already started. Scotty Vaughn 82. You can go check out his channel right now. He has Tom Brayfocal. He's a band member of the band Reliant K. I remember Reliant K really well. So he's going to be doing that. Also, I gotta give a shout out to my boy JC, because we're going to be part of the Bronx Anime Comic Expo happening August 26th. I got a lot of big things. I'm going to be interviewing some Transformer actors. So not Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. I would
Megan
love
Fox.
to imagine, but people that there were some animated Transformer cartoons. There are going to be some of the voice actors in it. So I will be in a panel. We'll try to see if we can get that recorded.
Cool.
Also, Josh may be missing, but his store is still up and running. But make sure you get 50% off with promo code Izzyverse. And sometimes we find Josh in Whatnot. He shows up in Whatnot, and you get $15 credit if you sign up. If you haven't signed up for it, we'll give you $15 if you go to it. And you could pretty much do anything you want with that money. Pretty much. Don't forget, guys, 1 week left. Nominations, August 5th ends. And don't forget, we got to find Josh. Look for Josh, guys. We'll leave you at that. And you know what? We'll do this one more time in memory of someone we lost today. So I'll see you guys next time on the Izzyverse. Until then, Excelsior. And we'll leave you with... Don't forget, find Josh.